I myself lost 8 pounds in 5 weeks without reducing my caloric intake. I know what you're probably thinking. Sugar makes you gain weight, right? That's what we've all been told, but here's the twist. When you eat fruit, just fruit, so no fat, no protein, your body converts that sugar into energy really fast. And your liver produces a hormone called FGF21. This hormone is produced to protect your body from that huge increase of blood sugar. So it tells your body to turn that sugar right into energy that it can use right away. So you get an increase of physical energy, your metabolism increases, your body feels warmer, your heart rate's a little bit more elevated because it's trying to balance out all the sugar. And because you have this increase in energy expenditure, your body rips through those fruit calories and you end up burning body fat in the long run. So the result of eating a lot of fruit and sugar without much fat or protein, crazy weight loss, and crazy amounts of physical energy. When I heard that science and how people were dropping 30 pounds in 30 days just by eating a lot of fruit, I was like, what? I gotta try this. But I started out slowly because I wasn't fully convinced. At the time, I was eating mostly low carb, so a lot of vegetables and protein. So I started to incorporate a bit more fruit into my diet and less fat and just a little bit less protein. And I did notice right away when I had fruit or some kind of sugar without any fat or protein, my body did get warmer. My heart rate increased a little bit. I had more physical energy, which is definitely a sign that my metabolism is increasing a little bit. I also noticed I was a little bit more hungrier than usual just because my body was ripping right through those fruit calories. But it wasn't too bad, and I was still able to eat about the same daily calories I was used to. And within the first week of trying the sugar diet, I ended up losing 4 pounds that week. And I was already pretty lean. I went from 118 pounds down to 114 pounds very fast. Although the following week, I ended up gaining a little bit more because I was definitely so hungry. I don't think my body was used to it. And I think my body kind of freaked out from having that extreme drops. But overall, as the weeks progressed, I ended up losing 8 pounds in about 5 weeks. So that's a little bit over a pound a week without even being in much of a calorie deficit, which is fascinating to me. It was just interesting how switching from a low carb diet to a high carb, low fat diet and keeping about the same calories ended up with my body burning more fat with the high carb diet. But here's one mistake I want to warn you about. I thought that if I ate more sugar, I would have more of an increase in my metabolism. However, that was not the case. I had experimented with days where I was eating more sugar, like tablespoons of honey and some jelly and jam, or just sprinkling table sugar over my fruit. But I actually noticed it had the reverse effect. It made me feel sick and sluggish. And if I had too much sugar, it actually would make me nauseous or just make me really hungry, like later on in the day. I think just the up and down of the blood sugar, my body was getting a little confused. So after many experiments, I concluded that just a little bit of sugar is fine. Too much makes me sick. But it was fun to see what would happen and experiment and see what other people are doing. I got fascinated by what other YouTube accounts were also experimenting with the sugar diet and the honey diet and all these trends. And it's been a few months now, and I still follow a high carb, low fat, moderate protein diet, and I feel really good on it. And I've been able to maintain the weight loss. I'm 5'3", and I've been able to maintain around 110 pounds, 110 to 115 pounds typically. But when I was low carb, I was up a little bit more, around 118 pounds, 120 pounds. So still pretty good, but I kind of like being a little bit more slimmer. And actually, this is the weight I was last summer. I didn't realize it at the time, but last summer I was also eating a little bit more high carb, low fat. And then somehow over the winter, I thought low carb would be better for me, which it's not bad. And some people really like it. They don't like the ups and downs with the blood sugar and all that. So it's totally your choice, but I kind of like having lots of energy. And it helps keep me pretty lean. So here's what I typically eat in a day, doing high carb, low fat, moderate protein. I usually wake up pretty early, around 5 a.m., so I have my first meal around 9 a.m. That's typically when I get hungry. And usually I go for some kind of fruit, whatever I have on hand. Strawberries, blueberries, peaches, pears, apples. I really like jackfruit and dragon fruit. I buy the frozen packages and I have those already on hand in my freezer, as well as some other frozen fruits if I need it. Around 12 o'clock, I usually have lunch. It's usually a big salad with a mix of all kinds of veggies on top. And I do have some lean animal protein like chicken, turkey, or fish on there. I'll do a little bit of dressing or cheese, but I'll keep it very minimal, so very low fat. Then in the afternoon around 3 p.m., I'm usually wanting something else, so I'll do a snack of cucumber slices, celery stick, or some fruit. Or I'll snack on something that's either fat-free or low-fat, like pretzels, which are fat-free, low-fat crackers, or I found some low-fat cookies. But I try to keep those to a minimum. So lots of fruits and veggies, minimal on the processed stuff. For dinner, I'm usually doing a cooked veggie like broccoli, cauliflower rice, zucchini, steamed cabbage, or just a mix of veggies, and then some kind of lean protein like chicken breast, turkey, shrimp, scallops, haddock, cod, and then some baked potato or white rice. Those are great sources of additional carbs that are low fat or no fat. Overall, I like to shoot for like 70% plant-based. So lots of veggies, some fruit, and then maybe 10% from lean animal protein. And then I have 20% left for anything else I want. So things like cheese or sauces, or sometimes fattier meats like salmon or steak or burgers, or desserts and junk food like chocolate or cake or cookies. So everything in moderation, but just in a smaller portion. More veggies, those make me feel good. Lots of fruit. And I'm not perfect at it. There's some days where I'm eating a bit more junk food than I should be, but overall, I do pretty well with it. And overall, I feel my energy is the best when I'm eating more plant-based. I have more physical energy. I've noticed actually a lot of other good health benefits from it. Like I used to have carpal tunnel from years of working on a computer. That's pretty much gone. I also had eczema on this elbow. It's gone. My skin is mostly clear, although I do have the occasional breakouts. I'm not perfect. And overall, my weight has been pretty stable. Like I said, I'm 5'3", kind of petite, but I'm maintaining around 110 pounds, so I'm very happy with that. But should you try the sugar diet? Honestly, maybe, maybe not. I think it only worked for me because I was excited about it. I was fascinated about the science. I got all up in there and tried all kinds of things, and some things work and some things didn't. It's not perfect. I think it's fun to experiment. But if it is something that you're interested in, I would say start gradually, or get inspired by other people that are doing it. So you know what you're in for and know if you feel like that's good for you. And by starting slowly, you can give your metabolism a little nudge instead of shocking your system. And you can always tweak your approach and see what works for you. The biggest thing that I've learned from the sugar diet, sugar and carbs can actually be your friend for fat loss. And I am more of a sweet tooth type of person, so I love that idea. If you would like me to help you achieve your goal weight and maintain it, my coaching link is in the description below. And if you would like my honest advice on how to lose weight, check out this video next.